Hello everyone, this is What If and Stuff, coming back at you with a new What If. Now, I kind of want, this is one that I'm doing just for the fun of it, but I mean, you guys could request a second part if you want. Until then, I'll be waiting, thinking of another What If, preferably an anime discussion. I really like those. But I mean, hey, I do political stuff too, so. Anyways, this one is kind of political, but not really. It's more of just a what if on. Well, just for what ifery. Now, this what if is very peculiar. It's what if the founding fathers were to come forward in time? Yeah, ambitious. Anyways, let's get started. 2019, just before COVID became discovered. And a scientist, or a whole group of scientists, like secret government scientists, more secretive than fucking Area 51 or the Pentagon or some shit, that are actually in the Pentagon, they accidentally rip a hole through fabric and time, through the fabric of time and space itself. But it spits out 4 alive people. As they stand up, confused, they start talking. And they speak almost what sounds like a British accent. Almost a British accent. Not quite. And they get identified. And they are exactly who they claim to be. George Washington. Then Alexander Hamilton. Then Benjamin Franklin. And then Thomas Jefferson. With this new discovery, and who had just popped up, the president gets a call almost immediately. Well, the president takes a few hours because, you know, his oop-looping ass is always not wanting to do anything. But he gets there. And he sees the founding fathers. First he thought, oh, it's a costume party. What is this, a prank? Where's the camera? All the scientists look at him like he's an idiot. Besides, he kind of is an idiot. They'll look at him for a second and say, "Sir, there are no cameras here." And I can't even speak English. Gosh. The president says, "Well, what are these 4 muttonheads doing here?" George Washington, catching George Washington's attention, he begins to approach the president rapidly, hand on his hilt of the sword, because he hasn't got a musket right now, or a loaded one at that. A couple of the scientists stop George Washington from lobbing Trump's head off. And out of pure frustration and damn near literal anger, he says, "What is this abomination of a man?" Trump says, "My name is Donald Trump. I'm the President of the United States. Trump, well, not Trump, George Washington, getting a little more infuriated because he's the President of the United States of his year. One of the scientists calm him down and tell him that he has come to the future. And he's looking at a future president of the United States. George Washington, little more on ease, but still just has a want to lob whatever that thing's head off is. Anyways, they get to go topside, get to see everything that's happening. George Washington, seeing how, well, bustling everybody is. They're at the Pentagon. Alexander Hamilton is impressed by their, well, ability to move so fluently and fast. But Alexander's jaw drops when he finds out how much information is on the internet. Thomas Jefferson is also surprised on how much information is there. All of them are, actually. Benjamin Franklin even more so than the rest. Anyways, then they begin to look into the policies of Congress. And they saw how much they spread. They went very far north and west and south, seeing the borders of modern America, the modern United States. And George Washington asks, so we've become imperials at one point. The scientist says, not intentionally, but that's how it seems. Look more into the ideals, and, well, they look into the ideals of all the politicians, the way they vote. George Washington is baffled. So is Thomas Jefferson. They abolished slavery a long time ago, as a matter of fact. And Alexander Hamilton is enlightened to see slavery has been abolished. Benjamin Franklin is also surprised to see slavery gone too. Thomas Jefferson is arguing that over 50% of the economical power of the United States was through slavery. And and the scientist says, yes, it was. Now the citizens work, not the slaves. We no longer have slaves. Alexander, thrilled to hear that. They begin digging more. And, well, they found out a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff that doesn't reflect too well on the government. For example, he finds out about Watergate, the assassination of JFK, and, well, and he digs further enough, he finds the corruption. The deep-webbed corruption throughout most of the politicians. And he turns up more surprised to find women in Congress, too. All of them are. They get a little history on that, too. In the 1920s, women were given rights. But unfortunately, they still get treated like second-class citizens, quotes one of the scientists. The Thomas Jefferson says, women have secured positions of power. That's almost blasphemy. The scientist says people can change within 200 years, Jefferson. Washington says, well, what about the military? How's the military doing? They see the numbers of this insane, almost beyond imperialistic military. The Navy, the Air Force, all of it. He is just baffled by the strength of this military. Alexander Hamilton as well. And, well, after that, they began looking back into why the politicians, except for a very select few, are so corrupt. Saw their mega millions. And Alexander, Benjamin, and George, they're all looking around. They're all looking at each other, quietly conversing amongst each other. How isn't there an uprising yet? How hasn't anyone picked up an arm and fired at them yet? And then they get the news. Well, this is actually more recent news, but then they get the news that there actually has been a guillotine placed in front of a corporate owner's house. George says, okay, that's a beginning sign, a threat. And they begin to look into more what the citizens are doing, which surprises Alexander and George. Surprises all four of them even further. You know, with the whole thing, BLM. I can't pronounce that one community. You know, it's full of, not trying to be hateful or anything, but full of homosexuals, transsexuals, and everyone like that. Not trying to be hateful or anything. Sorry about that. I just keep forgetting their name. But they see what has been happening. No, then it'd have to be in 2020 when they came around. Let's just say that it was in 2020 when they came around. They saw everything. They're seeing it now. There are people fighting for people's rights. Other people's rights. And George Washington, at this point, severely infuriated. All four of them actually kind of pissed. They get up in Trump's face and say, "What are you doing to this country? You are ruining it. You are driving it into the ground." Alexander holding down George's hand from lobbing this fat slob's head off right now. George says, "And why aren't you meeting these people's demands?" And Trump goes into a bullshit excuse all like, "They're a bunch of dirty socialist Democrats. A bunch of idiots." So they decide to stage an interview with some of these supposed dirty socialist workers. Whatever. Dirty socialist Democrats. Now, the first one they come across is not quite a very classy fellow. His name is Eddie. Now, I just picked a random name because I can't really go for any of my family members. But I'm just go with Eddie. It's plain, simple, a little more modern, but still. That's what I got. They speak with Eddie. And he secretly, he tells them why they do this. Why there's so-called rioting, looting, and protesting. This amount of change, surprises all four of them again. Especially his political view. I'm not going to say the exact thing of it, because if I do, I'll probably get demonetized by the government or something, but they are even surprised by his political view. But this Eddie guy, he gives them so much information about this modern world, how truly crappy it is. And leaves the Founding Fathers baffled again. And, with a few more interviews of more common folk, as they say, God, I can't even think. As they begin to realize it's almost time to go back to their own time. And okay. Okay, sorry, I was just checking my notifications. Anyways, good. God damn it, average. Alright. Anyways. Yeah. They asked the people, why haven't they risen yet? Why haven't they fought back? But the most common answer they got is because I gotta go to work tomorrow. I'm too tired. We can't afford it. Things like that. the Founding Fathers got to see the pitiful excuse of the modern America. And they're truly disgusted. Just as they leave, George Washington coming last. President Trump is waving them goodbye. George, one quick movement, takes his hand and says, "Fix this country, or I will." They go into the rift. It shuts, never to be seen again. Or maybe to never be seen again. Anyways, guys, I'm going to leave it there. If you like the video, leave a thumbs up. Maybe even subscribe. I don't know. That'd be cool. But if you don't like the video, well, put a thumbs down. Leave a horrible comment. I don't really care. Love you guys. Later.